Hi folks, welcome to Follow the Leader, a podcast focused on telling character-driven stories through the use of GM-less tabletop games where you can all take the lead. You can find us on Twitter and Tumblr at FTLcast. Today we're playing Mobile Frame Zero Firebrands by Vincent Baker. For those of you who are new to the game, here are the basics. The year is SC0245. Humanity is spread through the Milky Way using interstellar transit gate technology to colonize the galaxy. Mobile frames are the hard-working, hard-fighting combat and labor mecha they've brought with them. You're romantic ace mobile frame pilots, caught up in an undeclared war for the future of the Bantral system. Fight with your friends, ally with your rivals, fall in love with your enemies. I'm Dora. You can find me on Twitter at HarpyDora, and my pronouns are they, them. Playing with me today we have...
I'm Jade. You can find me on Twitter at JadeOxfordRose, and my pronouns are also they, them.
I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter at SAKalo, and my pronouns are he, him.
And I'm Kales. You can find me on Twitter at Citadel of Swords. You can find the games that I write at citadelofswords.itch.io, and my pronouns are also they, them.
Our lines, which are things we absolutely do not want to see, are homophobia and transphobia, racism, sexism, violence against children and animals, sexual assault, domestic violence or intimate partner violence, and unwanted pregnancy. Our veils, which are things we're fine with addressing but will just fade to black on, are steamy situations and graphic descriptions of bodily harm. Now that we've got all that, let's get started. Woo! Okay.
I love Firebrands.
Firebrands is a good game.
It's a really good game. So, we've definitely played some hacks and variations on Firebrands in this podcast before, most notably Divine Mundane and In Dreaming Avalon. So a lot of these mechanics are going to be pretty familiar to our longtime listeners. But the idea is that we'll be going through with characters and going through our choice of various minigames in order to have scenes with each other and create messy entanglements, since that is the whole fun of Firebrands.
That's the whole point of the game.
Yep. So as kind of an introduction to the built-in setting that Firebrands has, let me just read this blurb. The Bantral system is not at war. Bantral was never, until recently, a wealthy colony. The planet had resources enough just to maintain its own small society, but none worth exporting. There was never any need for the corporate sponsors of its initial colonization to intervene with its administration. In the halls of Solar Union commerce, land shares on Bantral traded for nothing, no cost, no gain. You might throw all my land shares on Bantral into your golf wager as a joke, or give them as a prank gift to a friend. Recently, though, there was a minor development in an obscure biochemical processing technology, and the novel features of Bantral's ecosystem went from being a scientific curiosity to being an untapped and unknowably deep wellspring of wealth. Land shares on Bantral are no longer an ignored asterisk on anyone's balance sheet. The handover of administration and power from the descendants of Bantral's original Terran colonists to the newly interested legal rights holders, the self-proclaimed landowners, has been cheerful, orderly, and mutually profitable. There have been a few isolated spats, of course, but there's been practically no protracted, bitter, bloody war or resistance between the displaced old Bantral aristocracy and the off-world landowners. When a landowner uses the threat of violence to force a hereditary family to give up their land, keeping them on as guides and entertainers, it's cheerful. When they offer them in exchange a negligible sum, it's mutually profitable. When a fiery company of Bantral irregulars responds by raiding their holdings and seizing arms and material against future battles, and local insurrectionists take advantage of the upset by forcibly occupying a biochem processing facility, and the landowners respond with ruthless crackdowns and martial law, These are a few isolated spats. To admit otherwise would be to invite the intervention of the Terran Transit Authority's mediation and peacekeeping forces. Then no one would get rich from Bantral but the TTA. So, setting up, we'll need 3 to 6 players, which we have 4. The object of the game is to create messy entanglements, fall in love with your enemies, ally yourself with your rivals, and fight with your friends. And to start the game, we'll need to introduce our characters.
I am representing the Revolutionaries faction, and I'm bringing back mine, yours, perhaps the nation's favourite character, Kari Valon.
Back in the game that started it all.
Indeed, yeah. Back in, though in a different faction this time.
Different faction, same game.
Different faction, same game. So, yep. Kari uses the call sign Coyote and pilots a mech named Corvus, and his adjectives in this game are charming. I got torn between these two because I couldn't decide whether I wanted generous or kind, because both felt fitting in different ways. So he's one of those two. And idealistic. And for those people that are maybe tuning in for the first time, or it's been a while since you listened to an episode with Kari, he is super fucking hot.
It's true!
He's got this really cute fade with like a twist out on top, medium brown skin, a scar over the bridge of the nose, a la Shiro or Juno Steel, depending on which bit of media you're looking at any given time. Trans femme, just one hell of a lady. Oh, and I have to give the job. Because I also have to choose what I do as a revolutionary. The professional occupation of your daily life. Something that brings you into regular contact with the Bantrash, the landowners, or both. And for Kari, I decided he owns a diner. And what did I decide to call it? I think I decided to call it Den Mothers. And yeah, there's
Nice.
There's a garage out the back. It's sort of but the authorities don't really know about that. There's definitely a room at the back where the revolutionaries hold meetings. And there's a back door that leads through to a now closed mechanic place. That's sad backstory, which I'm sure we'll get into and have a lot of fun with. But it's just like a nice sort of mum and pop style diner he owns and is like the main person doing the cooking in there. But yeah.
I love Kari. I'm playing Joe Stockton. You may remember him from our game of Fiasco, and he is still a mechanic. His call sign is Falcon, and his mech's name is Vocifer, which happens to be the scientific name of an eagle, because the scientific name of falcons is Falco, and I thought that was a little repetitive.
Valid.
He is a revolutionary. His adjectives are beautiful, inspiring, and down to earth. And as I was saying before, he is a mechanic. His mechanic shop is not terribly far away from the bar that Kari runs, but is definitely like, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I want to say it was like a rival mechanic shop at the time, and now is the only one left.
Sure.
But he's really good at what he does, and he is also very beautiful. So he's like, imagine like a beautiful pinup of like a half shirtless man working on a car with like beautiful long flowing hair. That is Joe.
I'm going to be playing everyone's favorite trash asshole.
Hell yes.
I love them. Reuben Murdoch. They are a landowner. I just read in the rules I am supposed to choose a company name, unit designation, or squad call sign. I'm like, Reuben is an independent. This happens a lot. They do have a call sign, though, because they do have a mech. Their call sign is Hyena, and their mech's name is Calypso. Thanks at Twitter for answering that poll back in February to help me choose the name of Reuben's mech. Their adjectives are, these are lifted from the Divine Mundane game, I think. I just pulled them out of that game. Charismatic, selfish, and mischievous. And I don't have to pick a starting occupation, but I think it's really important to note that Ruben is, like, sort of a scientist, but with no money. They're working out of a handmade lab in the back of their shop, and they blow stuff up a lot.
Of course.
It's so valid.
I hate them.
Are they making illegal drugs out of the crystallized whatever the fuck from the game stuff?
No, I think they're doing other things with it, but they're not making
Crystalline
drugs.
Bantral.
Yeah,
is the name of the stuff.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing with it, but they're definitely doing something with it. We can figure that out later.
Cool. And I'll be playing Marius Thank the Gods for Small Favors. Their faction is Bantral. Their call sign is Lynx, and their mech's name is Copernicus. Their adjectives are beautiful, cultured, and severe. And as in all settings, Marius is an academic, first and foremost. But they have been known to pilot a mobile frame on occasion. But, that's less frequently than they're found giving lectures in places.
Before we go into the games, would it be worth giving the little blurb for each faction, just as we're playing this world setting, rather than a divergent one? Because there's a cool little bit of information about what each of the factions are about, which might help inform our listeners and us as players.
Yeah.
Going forward.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So starting alphabetically, the Bantral are the aristocratic families of Bantral. You are a hereditary warrior prince or princess of a noble family, a mobile frame ace pilot, and the off-world landowners have robbed you of your wealth and estates. You've been raised to believe that the wealth of Bantral belongs to the Bantral. Bantral of the same family are your friends. Bantral of different families are your rivals. The landowners and the revolutionaries are your enemies.
The landowners are, according to Solar Union law, the rights holders to the wealth of Bantral. You're a mobile frame ace pilot employed to defend and secure their rights. The landowners, their soldiers, and their officers are all your friends. Officially, the Bantral are your rivals, but when fights break out, they're your enemies. The revolutionaries are your enemies.
And the revolutionaries. The undeclared war between the landowners and the Bantral is an opportunity for the people of Bantral to rise up. You are a revolutionary captain, a mobile frame ace pilot fighting for freedom from both hereditary tyranny and off-world rule. It's your opinion that the wealth of Bantral should belong to its people. While both the Bantral and the landowners are your enemies in principle, some of their more sympathetic individuals, families, and squads are your rivals and friends in practice. And while in principle the revolution is entirely your friends, in practice it contains rivals and enemies as well.
Awesome. So now that we've got our characters, the first thing that we do is we each do a solitaire, and each faction gets a specific section of solitaires that they can perform. And technically you're supposed to do it yourself quietly, but that doesn't make for good radio, so we're going to do it out loud. So conducting solitaire, choose what you've been doing, and then choose what's happened. Choose freely. So Jade.
Yes. Kari, or I should say myself, have been meeting with my spies in the local Bantral households, and today one of them was apprehended and missed our meeting. And I don't know, because I feel like we should maybe get this going soon because of entanglements, I feel it's probably something that worked in someone who worked in the Thank God for Small Favors household. Whether Marius knew this person or not really isn't important yet. But yeah, I was due to be meeting like one of the house, maybe like somebody that helps in the library, or maybe just a member of the household staff. And doesn't necessarily say I have to specify exactly what that spy was doing, but that's what it is. So somebody's gone missing and not shown up. Then that's my solitaire.
I'm trying to figure out what my solitaire is going to be. Yeah, this tracks with what I know about Joe. You've been raiding Bantral plants and warehouses for material. Material is spelled wrong in the playbook. And there are a dozen crates of munitions in your home right now, visible to any who happen to look.
Yes!
I love Joe so much.
Love Joe. Love that Joe.
He's got a lot of ideas, and he's very bad at executing them.
He inspired his people, though. They just went in there and brought all the munitions back.
They stole all the munitions, and then they were like, fuck, what do we do with that?
Joe's just like, I got space in my living room. Leave him there.
I feel like it's probably, like, stacked up in, like, the back of his warehouse of, like, random mech parts.
Yes, good.
But, like, lots of people come into his warehouse of random mech parts because it's also where his workshop is.
He's
So it's
dumb.
just, like, mech parts, ammo, mech parts, a soldering iron.
Beautiful.
It's fine, nothing to see here.
Mhm.
It's fine. This is just, it's part of building mechs. You have to arm them.
Uh-huh.
This is all legal.
Yeah. No stamped crates with the insignia of the band trash. Nothing like that.
He, like, slaps a sticker over it that says, like, legally acquired ammunition.
Joe. Joe.
I love him.
He's so stupid.
He's real
Fuck.
dumb.
He's a real good mechanic, though.
He's very good at mechanics and very bad at everything else.
Okay. So this also tracks. This, like, sort of tracks. This isn't gonna be as funny, though. Ruben, me, I've been off-duty drinking and relaxing with my fellow soldiers, and I found that I couldn't fully relax and enjoy myself the way they did.
Aw.
Mm.
They're just restless, I think. I feel like it's maybe... Ooh, okay, here's this. I think that this solitaire, as it is like, several months pre-game. Like, remember, Sam, how in Divine Mundane you had your solitaire be, like, a year before the game actually started?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do that, because I was just thinking, like, Ruben's not been in one place for this long, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely what it is. Like, this solitaire is, like, right before Ruben up and moves, just picks everything up, and, like, picks up the whole building and everything, and just moves it to another city. To wherever we are. It's hard to stay still. And it's easier to do research from here, I guess. Something like that.
There's more plants here.
Yeah, and wherever we are has to have a pretty stellar university, so...
Yes.
Mhm.
There's lots of fun, exciting research going on here.
Ruben is mooching off of the university.
Nice.
Perfect.
Perfect.
He's stolen, like, they've stolen, like, a key card, and he's just, like, utilizing it. Just like, nobody was using it. What?
Yep.
No, that's totally me.
Landowner. Bitch. I work here. It's my lab now. I'm sorry, was this a van trashy lab? It's mine now.
Yeah.
You're on my shares.
So, I think I've been taking off-worlders hunting, fishing, and touring my family's estates. Probably less the first two and more the latter. And at the very least, I think they acted fools and bores, spoiling the sport. Now, whether or not they actually did is potentially up to debate, but Marius is fussy and probably didn't want to be there in the first place anyway, so just did not have a good time.
Whose turn is it to start?
It's back to me. And, okay, I am gonna start with the classic opening move that we as a group like to do. I am gonna do a conversation over food.
That's not what I thought you were going to say.
No, it's either, no, to be fair, but no, every time we've played MFA, there's been food. Food
No,
tends to be-
you're right. Every single time we've played a Firebrands hack or a Firebrands type game, the first game is always a conversation over food or whatever the equivalent is of that.
Yeah,
No, the thing is that a fair few times we've started with a chase.
that's true. We have started with a chase a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Not on the podcast?
We started Divine Mundane with a chase.
You're right, we did.
And then we did a conversation over food.
We did in Dreaming Avalon. We started with the feast. So
Okay, well, it's fine.
okay. Who do I want to have this conversation with? Shit. I don't know whether I want it to be Joe just yet.
I'm offended.
Actually, no. I actually do want it to be Joe because I've got something I really should be talking to Joe about. So,
Is it mayhaps
some boxes
The
in your yeah, maybe, maybe.
I just peeked out my audio. Whoops.
Okay.
It'll be
My
fine.
audio's
my-
been peaking nonstop because I don't know how audio stuff works, so. Police car, no.
So, Sam, does Joe come to the diner, or is this Kari like showing up at his warehouse with food?
Joe absolutely shows up to the diner just to like get a bite to eat
Okay.
because he kind of thinks that they're friends.
Fuck, now I want freaking diner food!
Sorry, buddy.
Oh, mood. I also want diner food now.
Okay. Other players can join freely if it makes sense for their characters to also be present at the meal. Yo, it's a diner. So if one of you two want to, if Marius or Ruben wants to show up,
Ruben might come in.
okay.
Yeah, I was about to say, remember the promises we made ourselves, Ruben and Kari.
Yep, Ruben is probably going to end up walking in at some point.
Okay, cool. I love it. Okay, Sam, what do Joe and Kari notice about each other? What have you heard?
What Kari notices about Joe is that he seems kind of like unconcerned about the whole thing. About like he doesn't seem like he's really stressed out at all, which is weird because he has a bunch of ammo in his shed or in his house.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about it. It's fine.
He's like fine, which is weird.
Is that what Kari's heard is about the ammunition?
Yeah, Kari's definitely heard that this raid went down.
Mhm.
I don't know if Kari has heard that the ammunition ended up being stored in Joe's like house, but like he definitely heard like about the raid.
Okay.
Maybe was even invited to the raid.
I love the implication that, like, every game that Joe is in, he's just, like, the one causing trouble.
He's just really dumb, but he wants to help so much that he's just like doing the stupidest shit.
Okay.
No, it's fine. I love him.
What you notice about Kari is that he seems a little bit less put together than he normally does. Maybe just like normally, just like he's known for being a little, for all that he works in the diner. He's known for like always looking like cute jewelry or nice makeup, stuff like that. Like that's his vibe. But you notice that well, he still turned out neatly. It's just not those little flourishes of personality aren't as prevalent in his appearance. And what you've heard is that somebody was killed recently that Kari was very close with. And sort of like the neighborhood, somebody well known in the neighborhood. At least this wouldn't be on the radar of like the landowners or the Bantrash, but like the locals knew this person. Let me just put my cards on the table. So Annabelle Lee died recently, was killed in a skirmish, and yeah.
Are we just always killing off this poor character?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yep.
no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
we are.
That is who we killed off.
I have reasons for it.
Yeah, no.
I have reasons for it that aren't just Kari being
Suffering.
sad.
Oh yeah, I would
Are
like
you
to.
sure?
I would like to stress,
Yes.
so nobody worries. This is something Kales and I discussed. I haven't just killed off one of their characters in the backstory for shits
Also,
and
this
giggles.
is not like the first time that Annabelle has died.
No.
No.
Annabelle
When's
has
this episode
died,
going out?
I think that way
I'm having
after.
a pause of my brain. because I was just going to say April Fools. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, did we kill... It was Annabelle the one we killed off in the April Fool's episode?
Yeah,
Yes.
Annabelle was the one we killed off in the April Fool's episode. And heavily implied that at some point in that Things Eldritch and Terrifying game that she was going to die. And spoilers.
And spoilers. Okay.
Yeah, but Jade and I have talked about this. This is not out of left field. We're not making this into a story about fridging Annabelle Lee. It's fine. I just want that to be really clear. Like, that's not the game we're playing here.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what you've heard, is that Annabelle Lee was recently killed in a skirmish, and Kari is not taking it well. Okay, we gotta take turns. The person with the lowest social standing takes the first turn. After you, Joe.
Excuse me. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely correct. But look, I'm just a simple mechanic. You know, it's fine. It's fine.
Uh-huh.
It's fine. So cool. Should we read the rules for people who haven't listened to our podcast before?
Let's read the bit of rules for conducting the conversation. You can read it.
All right.
I've done a lot of flapping my gums already.
Conducting the conversation. Take turns. The person with the lowest social standing takes the first turn. If this isn't clear, have another player choose who takes the first turn at whim. On your turn, choose one or more conversational partners and choose an action. Ask a topical question. Engage in an actual improvised conversation. Pass, saying instead something about the food. Leave the conversation. Ending the conversation. End the conversation either when everybody has passed in a row or when everyone has left the conversation but one. That's funny. That's usually not how we end these conversations. Basically, we usually use the conversation over food to just do an improv scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but also food is good.
Food is good. Take it away, Joe.
All right. So topical questions are also just like, I do a thing. What happens?
You could also start by saying hi and what you're eating.
Yeah, we can improv first, and then, you know.
We can do the improv first, yeah.
Also, what are you eating?
Joe just kind of walks in and he orders, like, some eggs and, like, oh god, do we need to make up, like fantasy garbage?
No.
Okay, cool. He orders some,
food.
like eggs and fried potatoes. Like, he's just, like, getting some eggs and home fries covered in cheese. And he's just, you know, he's sitting down at the bar and eating that. He's, like, in his work clothes, so he's, like, wearing, like, a tank top, and he's covered in grease. He doesn't look like he should be in this diner without showering first. And so he just sort of sits down and he goes, hey, Kari, how's it going? He, like, can see that Kari's not doing well. He's like, what's going on?
I think Kari is sort of, it's probably fairly quiet in the diner right now. Like, maybe it's, like, post the lunchtime rush. So it's sort of like that early afternoon sort of lull. So maybe Joe's there and there's maybe a couple others, so Kari's not rushing about, like, filling orders and stuff like that.
Reuben's in a corner. They're eating a Reuben sandwich.
Okay.
I hate this.
I love this. So he's got time to sort of, like, come over and just sort of, like, lean against the counter behind him rather than the counter where Joe's food is, and grab himself a mug of coffee. I'm just like, getting by, Joe, getting by.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're you know, managing.
That's what we do.
Just, like, takes a bite of his food. He's, like, not really sure what to say.
Everything all right with that? You need salt or anything?
No, it's pretty good, thanks. It's well seasoned.
Kari does, like, a half-hearted finger gun.
Yeah, your food's still good, even when you're not doing so hot yourself, huh?
Gee, thanks, Joe. Oh.
Hey, we've all been there.
Yeah. Are you doing all right? I've been hearing some chatter that you've been busy.
Yeah, no, there was the raid went real well. Eats another bite of his food. He's like, yeah, the raid went really good. Yeah, now we've got some stuff to use in the future.
Vague, but comforting, I guess.
we've got some security now. You know? He, like, winks.
Oh, you put some locks on the warehouse, huh?
Oh, shit, no, I still gotta do that, huh?
Oh my god.
That's fine.
Kari just face palms.
I'll build them soon. I mean, I have ideas for those locks.
You know, any lock is better than no lock, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, it's still locks. They're just, you know, your typical put a key in and it locks, and I want to do more.
Right. Okay. Okay. Sure.
Sorry. This is me as a person laughing, not laughing
Yeah,
in
no,
character.
you're right. You're right.
Just so fucking stupid.
Looking at the topical questions now. As we've been doing actual improvised conversation back and forth for a bit.
Yeah.
Okay, I need you to come clean about what exactly you've got and where you've got it. Do you?
Yeah, Joe immediately is just like, "Oh, you mean the ammo we stole? Yeah, it's in the warehouse." Takes another bite. He takes another bite of his stuff.
How much are we talking about, Joe? And like, Kari has moved in closer at this point, you know, to not have this conversation at full at normal talking volume.
Yeah, you've got a landowner in the corner.
Yeah.
Ruben doesn't care, but just to be clear.
I don't think Joe has noticed that there's anybody else in this fucking diner.
Yeah.
He's just like 10 crates. There, you know, he like makes this sort of gesture of like, you know, half of his arm span of like, you know, they're like a decent size. About 10 crates.
Huh. And you just got those. You've got those where?
They're in the back of the warehouse, underneath some of the mech supplies. Don't worry, I put some customs stickers on them to make them look legit.
Uh-huh. Okay.
The stickers are over the old custom stickers with the, you know, old owners info on it. I know what I'm doing. You like finger guns.
Kari just sort of like reaches over the counter and pats Joe on the shoulder. And it's just like, thank the gods you're pretty. Okay.
You think I'm pretty? Thank you.
Joe, I have eyes. Come on.
He runs his fingers through his hair. He's like, "Oh, thanks."
I need you to I need you to reassure me that you're going to do more with the security. Just like, I'll elaborate on that, and then it's can you? Okay. But so you've got stickers on the crates, and they're properly hidden, right? Like nobody's going to be able to just like walk in and see these.
I mean, they blend pretty well in with the other crates of shit I've got hanging around.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
To be fair, the other crates of shit that I've got hanging around are legit.
You know what, Joe? That's not the comfort I think you think it is. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I could throw a tarp over them. I haven't yet.
You know what, Joe? That's a start.
I haven't yet, but I could. I'll do that when I get home tonight.
Do you need a tarp?
No, I've got plenty of tarps.
Then why hadn't you put a tarp over them already, my dude?
Because they blended in with the other crates I've got. It just looks like a wall full of crates, my dude. You can't tell which one's the ammo that I just stole.
Joe! And I'll just sort of like gesture slightly with my head towards the corner booth.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Ruben takes another large bite of their sandwich.
The ammo that I completely legally obtained for my business of building mechs for the landowners.
Is it
He like winks.
Is it funny or stupid if Ruben gives like a thumbs up?
Both.
And Joe like gives Ruben another thumbs up back. He's like, yeah.
Ruben's not even looking up. Ruben's just like, yeah.
I feel like Joe and Ruben might know each other.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. I'm gonna go take some aspirin and degrease the hot plate. Okay, enjoy your lunch, Joe.
Thanks, Kari. Have a good day, rest of the day. Talk to you later.
2-finger salute.
He just goes back to his meal. He takes like a big swig of his coffee and he's just like, yep, that went well.
God. There's a slight thud of Kari's head hitting the drywall. No, it's the front of the refrigerator, just like a
Clang.
Yeah.
Y'all know the there's a post that was going around on Tumblr recently that was like it was a screenshot of like all the tags of something when someone was like, what kind of men do lesbians like when they
dumb as a bag of rocks. Yeah.
Dumb as a bag of rocks gets pegged. That's Joe.
Pretty and dumb.
Pretty and dumb as a bag of rocks.
I love him.
I love him too.
Unless Ruben wants to come over and talk to Joe, I think that's scene. Because it says end the conversation when everyone's left but one. So, I don't know, Ruben was kind of conversation adjacent.
Yeah, Ruben's just gonna keep eating their sandwich, so, like, nah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, Joe's just gonna, like, keep eating too, so we've all passed at this point, so, like, that's the end of the conversation. Now it's it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Yep.
It's my turn. Part of me really wants to do, like, a free-for-all. Like, get in the mechs. Let's shoot some people with my stolen ammo. Yeah. Okay. Righty. I mean, I kind of want to do a free-for-all. Let's just get in our mechs and shoot each other. So the setup for this game is everyone plays, everybody's characters meet in your mobile frames to do battle. Ask your chosen partner where the free-for-all takes place. What do you notice about each other? What have you heard? During the free-for-all, anyone may ask anyone for details about the location, landscape, and circumstances. Go around the room. Each of you gets 2 turns. You go first. Me. On my turn, choose an enemy player's character and give them a challenge. They answer it freely. So I've already forgotten who my actual enemies are. I guess the landowners are my real enemies and the Bantral are my rivals.
Both are technically enemies in principle.
Got it.
You can say whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. When everyone's had 2 turns to make challenges and it comes back around to you for your 3rd turn, choose an end of the battle, choose the one that best fits the action up to that point. After the free-for-all, remind everybody that if the battle has left them with unfinished business, a grudge, or a real tactical objective, they should bring it into their next game.
See, okay, so I just imagined this being a fashion battle because I've got fashion battles on the mind.
Mm-hmm.
You're so valid, but we are going to be shooting each other with our mechs.
Yeah, you got a bunch of crates of ammo.
I've got a bunch of crates of ammo that I am itching to use.
What if the ammo is all just, like, jewelry?
No,
that's
it's
it's it's real guns. I know. I'm just like, this is what my brain is doing.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a good setting to, like, make, though.
Well, I'm writing the game.
Oh, shit, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, fist of cufflinks. Look for that on my itch.io. Wink.
I can't wait to play that, because I am a fashion student. Or I guess now I'm a fashion graduate, because I graduated.
You sure did.
So, this scene, is this going to be, like, a result of this ammo being stolen and, like, people are coming to get it?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And did Ruben actually give a shit or enough of a shit to say something? And then somebody was like, you should deal with that, Ruben?
I don't know. Kales, what do you think?
I think the more likely story is that Ruben saw a battle going on and went, meh, fuck it, and joined in.
God, I love Ruben.
That sounds more
Ruben's the
like their
worst.
speed.
So, like, actually, I would guess, who is the Bantral? That's Marius.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Marius found out through some spies that Marius probably has in the Revolution, because that's just sort of how things go with this kind of game. Marius found out, if that's okay with Dora.
Yeah.
What if it was that spy from the Favors household gave up some information?
Ah,
That's really good.
that's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Then I think in this case, I'm like, Ruben sees that Marius is there and is like, oh, fuck yes, I'm going.
Time to fucking shoot some people.
Marius is in their mech. Holy shit! This I gotta see.
This I gotta be a part of.
Yeah.
So I guess my chosen partner is Marius, even though everybody else is also here. Cool. I'm sorry, I'm reading all the things again. Damn, I love mech battles. This is great. Okay, so I begin the battle by opening fire on you, pounding you. Oh wait, no, we have to start first. So what do you notice about each other and what have you heard?
And where is this? Dora's not got to say where it's happening.
Yeah, that's Dora's decision where it's happening, I think, because it's Dora's...
The chosen partner.
That's a good question. I want to say maybe it's taking place at the edge of the city, kind of like, I don't want to like have massive collateral damage, but at the same time,
Sure.
It's like I like the idea of rundown buildings and fighting among that kind of thing. So maybe like an abandoned warehouse district.
I mean, we could be on the edge of one anyway. Like, we've already said that there's, like, a closed-up shop behind Kari's diner. Like, we could literally be on, like, that edge of where...
Oh, so it's like the only collateral damage is for, like, the revolution, really.
Yeah, like, these are, quote, abandoned warehouses.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect, I love it.
Because the thought... Because, like, especially if, like, Joe's got this massive warehouse space... That's just like, I just kind of like that vibe, because the revolutionaries are on the fringe of things anyway, so it makes sense for them to reclaim that kind of space.
Absolutely, yeah. And
Marius wouldn't necessarily know that there was going to be people hiding out in these buildings, so...
I like it. Yeah, that's a good... I'm liking this setting we're building, around the canon info we've gotten.
Cool.
Alright, so I'm gonna start this battle...
Does anybody notice anything about each other? And what have we heard?
What do we notice about each other? I guess, we're all in our mechs, so Joe is mostly... What you notice about Joe is that he's fighting, but, like, he's not fighting because he's mad. He's fighting because he's, like, excited to, like, try this shit out, because it's, like, the good shit that, the landowners get. So it's, like, he's, like, having a great time testing this shit out, and he's excited for the chance to test it out because somebody's attacking him. What do I notice about Marius?
I think that you notice that Copernicus is very shiny. Like, it obviously hasn't been out of the hangar until very recently. So
I'm gonna fuck up your shiny covering.
Yep.
I'm gonna fuck your mech right the hell up.
Yep.
What do we notice about Ruben?
They're here.
It's so valid.
I think it's like Ruben's been in this town for a few months at this point, and they've already sort of made a name for themselves, but they don't like do battle very much.
They just sort of are around.
Yeah, they have their little jewelry repair shop, and they're like sort of an asshole, but they also like take care of like stuff like really well, and they're doing some shit. They're not like hiding out, but they don't like fight a lot, and also everyone knows that they have a mech, but no one's actually seen it.
And everybody knows that they're like fucking with some weird explosive shit because you can always hear the explosions coming out of the warehouse
late at night. Yeah, and it's just like, oh shit.
It's like, oh, that's what that looks like.
Yeah.
Is it the kind of mech where you can clearly see who's piloting it then in Ruben's case? And that's why it's like, oh shit, that's Ruben.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're that asshole.
Cool.
I love them.
They suck.
I think
Sorry, it's true.
What you notice about Kari is that Corvus is still sporting a lot of battle damage, like...
Oh dear.
And is working fine. Is working great, but like there's been no attempt in the repairs to correct the cosmetic damage. And it's like there's still like a lot of the paintwork is ruined, like there's like scorch marks up and down it. There's maybe a couple of cracks running through. And what is left still is that sort of You know that kind of iridescent quality that raven feathers have? Like that black, but with the greeny colours within it. That's the paint job that was on Corvus and is now mostly gone. So...
yeah. What you notice about Vocifer is that it's got, like, very, very brand new, like, rocket setups attached to it. But the rest of it doesn't look, like, run down because it looks very well cared for, but it's definitely not new. It's like, you know when somebody takes, like, it's just, like, it's in the style of mechs that were made 20 years ago, but it's very well cared for. Except for these, like, brand new, very, like, the shape design of the rocket turret part of it is, like, very different from the way that the rest of it looks. But it's integrated.
Cool.
Anyways, I'm going to start out by opening fire on Marius and pounding you with everything I've got. Can your frame take it? How?
Oh boy. Since this is like fancy new munitions, I don't know that Marius's frame can take it. Like, I'm imagining Marius's frame is kind of like something that's been in the family for a while. So it's not antique, but it's not like the new hotness either, and so I think Marius has to fall back under some cover in order not to get taken down.
Sorry that I'm targeting Marius, just like, again, Ruben doesn't have any other reason to be here. So, I fell out of the sky like a hunting bird. Do you survive my attack? How? I think that's also their entrance into this battle.
I love Ruben so much.
That's so good.
What a dramatic asshole! I love that. I hate them. I love them and hate them simultaneously.
Does Ruben have a prosthetic leg in this game?
I have to...
Big shiny silver?
I have to think about it. I'm not sure yet. It depends on when in the timeline this is. And I haven't decided that yet, so...
That's fair. I just wanted to ask, because I was like, oh, right.
Thank you. That is a very good point.
I think it's Dora's turn.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about my response. I don't remember. Can mobile frames have swords? Mobile frames can have swords, right?
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
for sure.
There's a meeting sword to sword. There is also meeting sword to sword.
Yeah, which can
So-
happen in frames.
Yeah.
Oh, can that happen in frames?
Yeah, it can.
Fuck
Oh
yes.
my god. Oh, that's incredible, honestly.
Yeah, it's very good. So I think it's one of those things I bring my sword up to kind of like, between bringing my sword up to deflect your blow and standing aside, I think we end up, you haven't crushed me or anything. We're more like face to face now.
Nice.
For a certain value of face to face. So I think I've demonstrated that this frame is pretty quick, so I rush you. I'm faster than you'd believe. Can you react in time and get away? How? For Ruben.
I think I can. But I think the thing is that it looks like, just, like, jumping straight up. Which is, like, my favorite stupid move to use, is just like, oh, how am I gonna get out of your way? I'm just going to jump. And I think, if not Ruben, then definitely the mech has one leg that's, like, definitely made out of a different metal than the rest of the mech is. And you can see that as you, like, rush past. And it's like you rushed past me. I don't, like, block you or anything. Just, like, I'm just like, whoop, I'm gone. Goodbye.
Legit.
Ruben, with that move you just pulled, I hold back, lighting you up with sensors and comms, zeroing you for my allies. Are you able to evade? How?
I like if no.
Okay.
I like if it's like sort of like I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna hit the ground again and then it'll be fine. And it's like, no, because there's only one way to go when you jump straight up, and that's straight down.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to predict that. So I'm just like...
Okay. Hey Joe, Christmas present. There's a really lit up Ruben on your sensor array.
Sure is. Whew. So I guess I'm gonna go for Ruben. I'm gonna say...
Marius is still there. Just to be clear right now.
Marius is... How fucked up is Marius?
I think that Marius's frame is definitely scuffed up at this point. Like, not horrifically damaged, but definitely the worse for wear for everything that they've been dealing with.
Like, you can attack me if you want, I just am like, don't lose the plot.
It's true. I do want to... The thing is, I'm just excited to be testing out my fun new weapons.
That's fair. Go ahead.
But actually, you know what? Ruben's a bro, so I'm gonna actually hold off on attacking Ruben. Ruben's cool. I can fuck with Ruben. I'm gonna go after Marius again, and I'm gonna say, I heave you bodily off the ground, lift you up to smash you down again. Are you able to get out of my grip? How? Just, pick you up in my big robot hands.
I like the idea of being able to, like, kind of wriggle out of your grip, but it still puts Marius off balance, and, like, they end up falling and crashing into a building anyway.
Very inelegantly.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Kari, hi.
Hey.
You just lit me up, so I'm gonna light you up. I get the drop on you and hit you with a roaring jet of flame, steel meltingly hot. Can your frame take it? How?
I think yes, because this mech was built to withstand a lot of damage. That's how it's able to operate so well, even in the state that it's in. Like, Corvus doesn't even stagger back, and I think, like, Ruben was sort of expecting him to back up because of how hot the flame is, and when Kari doesn't move, it's just like Ruben has to stop before completely colliding in a way that would be bad for them.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, it's literally Kari stood their ground so much that the attack kind of had to falter out.
So I think now that Joe is more on my radar, now that I'm away from you, I keep to cover, circling with tactical precision. I'm almost impossible to spot. Do you see me coming? How?
I'm gonna say I lose track of you because my equipment isn't, the top of the line. It's scavenged from a million other people's mechs. So I probably do not see you coming because you're impossible to spot.
I think, because I want to go, this is sort of, at this point is when, maybe before, and that's why Kari focused on Ruben, was because Ruben was like, no offense, seemed like the more competent pilot, so maybe the one to worry about more, or seemed to be more in control of what they were doing. Because a shiny new mech, okay, so clearly you don't do this very often, which is why why he went for Ruben first, but now has sort of maybe seen or has clicked what Marius represents, and that, oh no, that is a Bantral mech, and if there's a family insignia on it, which there normally is with the Bantral ones, right? I think seeing what house it is, and that meeting that didn't happen with a spy from Marius's house, it's just like, oh, okay, I know what this is. And I rush you. I'm faster than you'd believe. Can you react in time and get away? Because you're more focused on Joe not seeing you. So
I don't think I get away, but I think we've both established that our mechs are fast, so I think it's more like we meet in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Does Corvus have a sword, though?
I think that Corvus has a shield with a bladed edge that's shaped like a wing, and it gets brought up in front.
Oh man, I love the idea of locking my sword with, like, one of the blades in the shield, and, like, then it becomes a test of strength, which I don't think Copernicus wins in a test of strength, so I think it's one of those things where Corvus can drive Copernicus back.
Yeah. Cool. Sam, how does it end?
I like the idea that we realize we're all showing off and more than we're fighting, but that's not really what's happening. I mean, it's what Joe's doing, but, like, perhaps not everybody else. I want to say, like, the fighting is intense, but soon the revolutionaries dominate the field. Everybody else limps home for repairs and recovery, because, like I never got attacked once, first of all. even though I kind of started it. But so just from that alone, I kind of won.
No, I think that tracks, because also there were 2 revolutionary mechs in that fight.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking.
Exactly. So the revolutionaries dominate the field, and everybody else limps home for repairs and recovery. I also like the idea that nobody knows that it's Joe in the mech. Or people do, but, like, you can't see Joe in the mech.
I mean, Kari knows.
Kari knows, but, like, people from all social standings come to Joe for repairs that that aren't necessarily, like, above the, above the ground. No, that's not the right word. Above board is the word I was looking for. You know what I mean? Like they're not necessarily like, oh, I had an illegal mech fight and now I have to go to like a shady mech mechanic to get it fixed. Like lots of people come to Joe's store to get their stuff fixed, and they don't necessarily know that that Vocifer is Joe's mech. They've seen Vocifer in Joe's shop, but they just sort of assume that like he's fixing it for whoever actually owns it. Now it's not my turn anymore, so I don't have to think really hard.
That's fair. I decided what I was going to do for my turn at the beginning of Sam's turn. Reuben's gonna gate crash a fancy party, and I want to dance with Marius.
Hell yes.
That sounds fantastic. So, we came to be dancing together because the House of Thank the Gods for Small Favors is throwing a fancy party. Probably one of those parties where Marius is, like, really upset to have to show off-worlders, like, the estate and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do I notice about you, and what have I heard, and would Kari or Joe be here?
I can't see how we would have got here.
That's fair.
Given the type of party that it is, and I can't speak for Joe, but Kari's not really got a means of getting in anymore with the spy gone, if he had wanted to crash anyway. So
Joe's not going to be at this fancy party. He's not invited.
That's fair. That's fair.
The dance minigame that isn't going to take an hour and a half because we're not all playing it.
Oh
we
my
did
God.
it. We won MFO Firebrands.
We did it!
We figured out how to have a dance without it taking 2 hours. It's good.
Yes. I love how when you say that the dance gets longer and longer too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yep.
You gotta just, it gets longer every time you look back at it.
Like my dick. I'm sorry.
Leave that in. You're leaving that into the podcast.
Do not apologize. Do not
Please leave
apologize.
All right, so
what
do I notice about you, and what have I heard?
What do you notice about me? I do not look like I was just in a mech fight at all. Like, and that's, like, beyond, like, oh, you know, I've, like, cleaned myself up and whatever. Like, no, I straight up do not look like I was in a mech battle, like, what, a week ago?
Sounds good.
I suck. What have you heard? I'm not sure. I don't know that you've heard very much, honestly. What have you heard? I was in a mech battle.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's good, actually. You've heard that they were in a mech battle, but they don't look anything like it. Like,
yeah.
That's a fun contradiction.
Also, Marius knows that they were in a mech battle because Marius was there and could see them in the frame, but, like, they don't look like they just were in a mech battle.
That's good. That's really good. I think you notice that Marius obviously doesn't want to be here, and I don't think that it's public that they were in a mech battle. I think that it was obvious that a house, thank the gods for small favors, mech was there, but nobody knows that it was Marius specifically. So it really just looks like Marius is just normally fussy and doesn't want to be here, and they're supposed to be the off-worlder guide again, and that's what you've heard.
Yeah, that's gotta be frustrating.
Especially for somebody who doesn't people.
Which one of them is the worst dancer?
That's a good question.
Mm.
So conducting the dance, take turns asking each other questions. Each of you gets to ask the other 2 questions, taking turns, and then the dance ends. The worst dancer asks the first question, or else have another player choose who asks the first question at a whim. I don't know, I don't think Marius is a terrible dancer in this universe. I think, being raised as Bantral aristocracy, they've probably had to learn, so...
Okay. I think that Ruben is a better dancer in a less formal setting. Like, I don't think they're good at this sort of thing.
They can Charleston, but they can't waltz.
No, they can dance in a club, but they can't do, like...
So they can grind, but they can't, like, actually dance.
Well, it's like they can, but they're a little bit more awkward about it. They enjoy it, they just don't have enough of an opportunity to do it that they, like, know how to, really. So, like, I think in this case, then they would be the worst dancer, but they're not necessarily a bad dancer.
Okay, that's fair.
So, how does this even happen? Is Ruben part of one of the tours?
I think so. Like, I don't think that, God, that just makes it even worse, because that means Ruben's just staying at the manor. So it's not that you crashed the party, you were invited to the party, and it's terrible because you're staying there for, like, a weekend or something.
I think I think what it is, though, is that Ruben wasn't actually invited to this party. They, like, gate crashed the weekend part of it, though.
Oh my god, I love it.
So they just, like, showed up for this weekend trip, but they've, like, been on planet for long enough that, like, they really don't need to be here. So, yeah, I think then what it looks like is, like, after one of the tours, Ruben is like, hey, do you want to take a break from this, like, showing people your big fancy house thing?
I would love nothing more.
Cool. Dance with me.
I'm trying to decide exactly how Marius reacts to that, because Marius does choose to dance, but also Marius recognizes Ruben from that mech battle, so...
Yep.
They accept as graciously as you would expect them to accept, which is not terribly, but it's fine.
Something about me catches your eye and your look lingers. What is it?
I'm gonna force you to decide if Ruben has their prosthetic now.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yes, they do.
Making a note that at some point Ruben and Max need to interact in a game and compare having, like, prosthetics or, like, mobility aids. Please continue.
I gotta port Aletha into a game too, so we could just have an entire game of people who only have one leg.
Yep.
So friends at the table takes off hands, we take off legs.
Yep.
It's fine.
That's how we do.
It's honestly, like, in the original version of this, the leg was not taken off, it was taken over. I don't think that's exactly what happened here, but...
A story for another time.
Yeah, we can talk about that. I'm gonna figure that out later, but yeah.
Okay.
I need to figure out what it looks like in this setting.
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious where Marius's attention goes, and they're obviously a little shocked. But you don't know if it's because they're shocked that you can dance with the prosthetic, or if they're shocked for some other reason. But they definitely seem... They're being a little ableist right now. They're like, somebody who has a prosthetic was able to handle that mech so well.
I think Ruben notices and is like, hasn't anyone told you it's a little rude to stare? Or, no, actually, sorry, I know what they say. They say, my eyes are up here,
Bless.
There we go. That's the shithead we know and love.
Yeah. Marius flushes and just, like, looks completely away from Ruben at that, and it's like an angry flush, and it's obvious that it's an angry flush.
Yeah.
But whether they're angry at themselves for being caught out, or if they're angry at Ruben for calling them out, is up for debate. Even to themselves, they're not sure. I think Marius finally says, you handle yourself very well, just kind of, like, through gritted teeth. And You may at this moment in the dance place your hand upon my elbow, my shoulder, my waist, or my hip. Which do you choose?
My answer is going to depend on the answer to this question. Who's leading?
I think it's more fun if Ruben is leading.
Okay. If you had said okay, here's something that might change your mind. If you had said Marius was leading, this is the moment where Ruben switches.
Oh, I love that. I love that very much. So, I mean, that's still fun if Ruben's leading, but yeah, I love Ruben taking lead of the dance at that point.
Yeah. So that is... Fuck, I don't know where you put your hands when you lead. Is it the waist when you lead? I can't remember.
I think it's the waist. I know if you're following, it's like the shoulder.
Yeah. So the answer to the question is Ruben places their hand on Marius's waist, and I think it's like that... Someone else described it, one of y'all described it in that Divmon game, the streamed one, as like, it's like a weird reverse grip, and then all of a sudden Ruben's leading.
That sounds like the kind of bullshit I described during dance scenes, to be fair.
Yeah, I think you did that with Aphael and Ningal, but I can't remember now.
Yeah, no, that sounds right.
And I think they're like, well, so do you.
That flush does not go away.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not even sure that they fight the change in, like, they're too caught off guard to fight the change in who's leading too.
Okay. It's a shame that they're already blushing. That's okay though.
You can always make it worse.
I could always make it worse. Yeah, I'm about to. This moment in the dance allows me to step close and linger very near. Am I welcome?
Yeah, I think Marius takes a step back because they're not exactly welcome, and that leads to, I lose my place in the dance. Do you let me stumble, or do you draw me back into place?
I draw you back into place. I'm not that bad of a dance partner.
And that just makes Marius feel even worse, so they're like 0 for 4 in this particular exchange.
I'm so sorry. If they hadn't, if they hadn't been staring...
No, I mean, they're being a dick. It's fine. Like, they deserve it.
They deserve this.
Yeah, and the dance ends, and I think Marius, kind of, half bows and is like, I appreciate the distraction, Mix Murdoch, and then scurries away.
Ruben just goes to get another drink, and they're like, they don't necessarily feel good about it, but, serves them right.
Yeah.
And, I think the thing is that, Ruben was always, a fairly... Ruben was not good at, ballroom dancing and stuff before they lost their leg and ended up with a prosthetic, but, they don't have the same fluidity that they would in a universe where their leg is just made of silver. They're still getting used to it in a way, and it's so, it is fairly obvious, but it's, still rude to stare.
Oh yeah, no, Marius was being rude and ableist and not good about the entire thing.
Yeah. Sad times. Alright. But that's that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Hi, it's Dora, and I just wanted to thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed us, please consider leaving a rating on iTunes, telling your friends about us, or tweeting about our show using the FTLcast hashtag. No, seriously, we crave the validation and it helps us out. Your support really means a lot. Thanks again!